Guys, I have some important news to tell you all. I won the DSPC! Roll the intro! So before we talk about how I won the DSPC, let's talk about how did I end up in this situation. But first, let me tell you what DSPC means. DSPC means Division Schools Press Conference, where a lot of people from different schools compete in every city in the Philippines to see who's the best when it comes to being a journalist. It has all the things that you need to learn about making news. If you're interested, now that you know its meaning, let's begin with the story. It all started in 2018 when my mom forced me to join the Charlotte's radio broadcasters because she saw how good I am when it comes to speaking English. To be honest, I only learned how to speak English it's because I watched a lot of American shows. Before the competition, we practiced for a few weeks from making our news to presenting it to our coach. My first coach was Sir Peter, one of the hosts during the 55th Foundation anniversary. After a few weeks of practice, we went to Central 2's Dome because that's where the DSPC is held at. We went to Central 1 to have our lecture to know all of the things that you need to prevent and to use for your newscast. There are many different kinds of rules for me to explain, but the rules are in the link in the description below. And check them all out one by one so you can understand each and every rule. After the lecture, we went to our room with the help of our coach. He helped us make our news one by one because we can't create our news by ourselves because we were in grade 6 back then. That's why we needed supervision from our coach. You are only given a few hours to prepare your news, script, and your newscast until 1:10 p.m. because that's the time to assemble at the Dome. We went to the room located at the backstage of the Dome to present our newscast because that's where every radio broadcaster present their newscast. You are only given 7 minutes to do your newscast. 1 minute for the mic and music testing, 5 minutes for the newscast itself, and 1 minute for leaving the room. I do want to explain the entire duration for the newscast, but I'll just display it here on the screen, and it's in the link in the description below. After our newscast, I've had a lot of fun being a radio broadcaster, that I ended up getting the Best Anchor Award and became the champion of the DSPC 2018 the next day. Here's the picture where we won as the champion along with Ikanaru Baby. He was our technical back then, and this is what the medal looks like. I know that the medal looks completely different in the picture than this one is because they replaced our gold medals in the picture with a custom-made medal made by the faculty staff of St. Charles Academy. 1 month later, we went to the headquarters of the Department of Education, or DepEd for short, in Region 1 to have a lecture and presentation about the news during the DSPC. They also announced that the ones who became the champion during the DSPC will move on to RSPC, or the Regional Schools Press Conference. Just like DSPC, the RSPC will be completely different because you're not just representing your school, but also your province, meaning all of your opponents during DSPC will be your allies. The RSPC is located at Lingayen National High School in Lingayen, Pangasinan. In the first day, I have a light fever, but I took care of it after taking a nap on our way to Lingayen. We did some checking in our laptops to see if there are some files that are related to the competition or not, or if they're useful to us or not. After some few inspections to our laptops, we're good to go for the next day, and we registered as well. In the next day, it's pretty much exactly like DSPC, where it starts from the lecture to the news making and to the newscast itself. But here's the twist. Our coach, Sir Peter, will not help us anymore, and we have to be more independent when it comes to making our own news. After a few hours of script writing, printing, and practicing, we went to a building where we will represent our newscast. After our newscast, we went back to St. Charles Academy and called it a day. I was curious if we won or lost back then, because I even asked Sir Peter about it and he didn't say a thing. Even until this day, I still don't know if he won or lost. 5 years later, I returned being a radio broadcaster, and things got a little tricky where I have to create my news on my own. Sure, I already did that 5 years ago during RSPC, but I don't have any knowledge when it comes to making my own news because of course, I was still in grade 6 back then. This time, my coach is Sir Melvin. He's the one who said that my speech about smoking in grade 8 was great. Sir Melvin taught us some advanced lessons about broadcasting, such as modulating your voice, using the microphone in the correct way, where it should be like this, and not like this, hyphenating some words like this, separating some letters such as BPI, PNP, and BFD, word count of your news should be maximum of 80 words, adjusting the tone of your voice. For example, this is Kentaniac reporting for Metro News Radio. This is Kentaniac reporting for Metro News Radio. See the difference? For numbers 1 to 11, it should be typed using numbers, and for numbers 12 and beyond, it should be typed using words like this. And the cause, climax, and effect, where the cause is the catch of your news, the climax is the supporting details, and the effect is the denouement of the news itself. We practiced for almost 2 weeks, and believe me, it was very challenging because it feels very different from 5 years ago. We mostly did the same thing 5 years ago during the competition, but there are several changes, wherein just like RSPC, your coach can come in the room, but you can ask for help. You have to double check your script before submitting it to your script writer, and double check the script as well for some typo. After completing our script, we prepared the script for the judges by putting it in a white folder with the school's name. Little did you know that we almost got disqualified because there was a woman with a brown shirt that told us to hand over our script so that she can give it to the judges. We handed the judge's script to her and she ran away. A few minutes later, a man wearing a black shirt asked us about our script if it's finished so that he can give it to the judges, but we replied with, "Sir, we already gave it." He was shocked and asked, "Who did you give the script to?" And we replied with, "We don't know, sir, but it was a woman wearing a brown shirt." After that, he thanked us about the information and left. We even panicked about it because we gave the script to the wrong person. But Sir Melvin said, "Everyone, it's okay." They retrieved the script and gave it to the judges. He even explained it to us that the woman was an unofficial member of the DSPC and scammed us by giving the script to her. Luckily, everything went out just fine. After that, we continued practicing and I noticed something very strange in the script. They put "and that is for today's news" instead of "and that's for today's news." I even told my fellow broadcasters about this and my partner Thea said,
"It is what it is."
So we just pretended that nothing happened and proceeded to the dome. After our newscast, we waited for the Filipino broadcasters and they even made some changes in the script. I was mad at my partner Thea because they made some changes in their script while we didn't. After the Filipino broadcasters' newscast, we called it a day. The next day, we returned to the dome for the awarding ceremony. We won in 5th place in radio broadcasting and we didn't got any special awards. For the Filipino broadcasters, however, they became the champion. After the ceremony, I went back home with a frown on my face. The Filipino broadcasters will move on to the RSPC and it's located in Alaminos, Pangasinan. Us English radio broadcasters, however, we went back to being an average student, but in exchange, we were exempted from our exams, quizzes, performance tasks, and activities. That's only the good part, but I was still a bit out of the blue during that time. After a year, I returned being a radio broadcaster once again. I became a news presenter and lost my position as a news anchor because I passed the torch to a returning radio broadcaster, and that is none other than Kuya Dean Macaranas. He appeared in the 55th Foundation vlog, by the way. Just like last year, we trained harder and harder to achieve more than just one award. Once again, we returned to Central 1 and did exactly like they always do every year. But this time, the lecture was faster and they gave us a head start to finish early. They also provided a QR code filled with the news that we're going to use for our newscast. If you guys want to see the news itself, the link is in the description below. After doing those things all over again, we went to the backstage of the dome to present our latest newscast. This time, we prevented from doing all of the mistakes that we did during last year's DSPC, and it went smoothly. If you guys want to watch our newscast, the link is in the description below, or check the I logo on the top right corner. And the script, music, and sound effects that we used are also in the link in the description below. Just like last year, we waited for the Filipino broadcasters and they have some errors during their newscast. The next day, I was distracted buying some souvenirs such as the duckling hairpin because it's very popular in Baguio City. During the awarding ceremony, something special happened during the time that they're going to announce the winners for radio broadcasting for both English and Filipino. Take a look.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Secondary na po. English, English. Wow! Wow! Yes! Yes! That's my anchor! That's my anchor! Wow! Yes! Wow! Yes! Yes! Wow! Yes! 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 Wow! Yes! 5 in a row! 5 in a row! Yes! Woo! Yes! 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 Woo! Woo! Yes! Woo! Guys, we did it! We won! What? Woo! Oh! Congrats! Congrats! Congrats po! Congrats! Ayan na! Ayan na! Ayan na! Ayan na! Woo! 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 Yes! Yes! Yes!
Both English and Filipino radio broadcasters became champions in this year's DSPC. Here's the certificate and here's the medal itself. We were very happy that we finally got our chance to go to RSPC, which is located at Ilocos Sur. Finally, after 6 years, I have returned to RSPC. This time, we'll win again for NSPC. NSPC means National Schools Press Conference, where unlike both DSPC and RSPC, we will represent Luzon, one of the major 3 islands of the Philippines. The NSPC is located at Cebu in Visayas, and we will go to Visayas in a plane. That's why we need to train hard so we can compete in the NSPC. For now, we went back to square one and we're still waiting for some announcements for the RSPC. And that's my entire story on how I became a radio broadcaster and how I won this year's DSPC. Thank you all so much for watching this video until the end. It really means a lot to me. If you guys want to watch our latest newscast, the link is in the description below, or check the I logo on the top right corner. I think it's time to make this outro very special for you all. Not as a YouTuber, but as a radio broadcaster. Alright, here we go. And that's for today's video. Always watch here at Kentaniac Progatons. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next video. KP out. Goodbye, and see you again.